You have dandelions? Nice. Welcome back to Built by Bo. Today we're still working on this 2005 Mazda 3. We've done rear brakes, rear shocks, rear upper shock mounts, front lower control arms. I dropped the engine oil, and today I'm addressing a problem that we're having with the brakes. So basically the previous owner, the brake problem that they were having is intermittent spongy pedal. Forums suggest it could be an ABS module bypassing. People have changed boosters and master cylinders in the past on the forums with no changes. I decided to grab a master just in case before I went for the ABS module. I've just got it all apart, and I can actually see that brake fluid is actually leaking down from the back of the master cylinder. This is my new one from Rock Auto. Basically, this goes through the firewall. This goes through the firewall this way. Your brake pedal pushes on this, and this back seal right here is leaking on this particular master cylinder on the car. So I'm hopeful that this actually is the problem, and I'll show you what this actually looks like. So basically, if you can see down underneath the master cylinder, right in this area right here, it's wet. And that's how I know that it's coming down from that behind that back seal. So we're gonna get the master cylinder off, and then we will verify that 100%. I got the master cylinder off, and it's leaking from this back area here. This particular model, you need to make sure 100% that this seal gets back in there. If you don't get the seal back in there when you put it back in, the brakes won't work. Well, your assisted brakes won't work. So we're gonna put this in the vise, and we're gonna bench bleed the new one, swap over the reservoir, and get it back in the car. So once you get your base transferred over onto your reservoir transferred over onto your base, some of the kits come with a bench bleeding kit, which is two little valves that thread into the holes, seal, and they give you hoses that go back up into the reservoir, like so. You mount this in the vise, push the piston in the back, and as the air comes out, the lines stay filled, and it just aerates back into the reservoir, so you can get all the air out. Then once you're done, you just remove your fittings and get it back onto the car, and then you'll obviously have to bench bleed it, or you have to bleed the car afterwards. This kit came with the little tool, which is cool, but didn't give it the hoses long enough to get in. So I'm just gonna run a lower bucket down below and bleed it into a separate reservoir. It's just to keep the air separate from what's inside the bore. Once you've successfully bled as much air as you can out of this reservoir, remove your bleed fittings, your bench bleed fittings. Make sure your O-ring is in place at the back. Put a little bit of lubrication around it, and get her back in the car. Okay, after you've installed the master cylinder, either Kira or my wife, depending on which one you want to believe, to actually help me bleed it. We bled it at the lines at the master cylinder. We're gonna button this all back up and then see how the pedal feels. Most likely, 99% of chance, I'm gonna have to rebleed all the brakes. No one's ever that lucky just to be able to bleed it at the master. But for right now, that's a good enough. We're gonna button it up and we're gonna move it to the next step.
I have dandelions.
You have dandelions? Nice.
I can help you.
Oh, there's not much you can do. You can stand there and look pretty for me.
Hello, Dada.
Thanks, dear. Awesome.
That's a easy one.
Once you get it all buttoned up, best thing is to start it up and make sure you actually have assist. If you don't have assist, you might have got that rubber out of place or whatever on the back of the master cylinder, or it's not sealing properly and it might be something that you need to check. So we're gonna fire it up. We're gonna see how it is.
Dada, where you was in?
So everything works good so far. My pedal is working. I have assist, and I won't really know 100% if the fading brake pedal is gone until I test drive it. But like I said, with a leaking master cylinder, I'm pretty confident. And so that being said, we're going to end the video here today. I hope this helped. If you like, please like and subscribe, and watch for future videos. Thanks for watching.